Welcome to Share Talk, the only podcast where investors come first.
Hi, this is Zak Mir with the Bulletin Board Heroes here on Share Talk for Thursday the 10th of December. Starting off with 7 Digital, where we've had a nice update from the company and a nice break of this resistance line there from October and the 50-day moving average at 1.26, a nice trading point. Above that on an end-of-day close basis, we're looking for the top of the rising trend channel from late September as high as 2.5 pence. And obviously, given that we had spikes towards 5 pence in August, people will be hoping for a bit more than that. But at least while we're above the 50-day line, 2.5 pence looks to be on the cards for 7 Digital, hopefully by the end of next month. Onto a stock which I know is very popular, Ark Minerals, and nice little setup at the moment with this bull flag resting on the 50-day moving average at 3.68. That should be the shares preparing themselves for a new leg to the upside, i.e. support this month coming in at former November resistance, so that's a sort of a bullish flag. Rising trend channel on the daily chart from back in March, and that's heading towards 7 pence, and hopefully we could see that by the end of next month, maybe going into February at the latest, but looks a pretty clear situation there. Next up, Infrastrata, which looks as though, we've had the gap higher today. What will be interesting, what will be helpful is that we have no end-of-day close back below the former November peak at 49 pence intraday. If we can stay above 49 pence, then still got a chance of 60 pence plus, which is that late October resistance line projection. But the bull argument still remains in place while we hold above that November support line and the 20-day moving average at 43, 44 pence. So even if we do head below 49, there's still another chance of upside and 60 pence. J-Wing has been a stock which has done well over sporadically over the year, and looks like we're going into a fresh phase of bullishness. Had a beautiful run in October going into November. Gapped up higher today through the 20-day moving average and actually never went back below the 50-day line at 4.5 pence, even on the retracement. So that's pretty strong stuff. Initial resistance line target there from the end of October up to 8.5 pence, but best case scenario over the next couple of months up to the top of the rising October trend channel at 12 pence, and that's valid while we hold above the 50-day line area at 4.5 pence. Maybe you could tighten up to 5 pence if you didn't want to risk that much, but 4.5, the sort of support, the main support there with the 50-day line on J-Wing. Onto a stock which is starting to stir, we hope, Oracle Power. Here, we've got to see the shares. Well, we had the that bear trap low there below 0.5 pence, so basically while we're above that, looking for a break to the upside. The easiest strategy here, though, would be to wait for an end-of-day close above the 50-day moving average, where we've peaked 3 times so far this month. End-of-day close above the 50-day line at 0.62 could then point the shares up towards 0.8 or 0.85. Onto a stock which I've been told is not a very bearish one, a very, very bullish one rather on a fundamental basis, but at least on a technical basis, this looks as though it's ready to recover quite strongly. We've broken out of that post-September triangle there. I suppose that and also the 200-day moving average at 1.87, so above the 200-day line, really looking for the top of the rising trend channel from September as high as 3.5 pence, hopefully by the end of next month. Obviously that looks rather ambitious, but after such an extended consolidation and a bear trap in October, the technicals do add up to at least an intermediate move to the upside. Obviously big West Newton news today, and helping Rare Bold Resources do the trick for its supporters. We've actually got an island gap now, so an island gap is formed where you gap to the downside and then gap to the upside. Everything hinges today, I suppose, on an end-of-day close back above the 200-day moving average at 0.56. If you can get that either today or for the end of the week, or perhaps even next week, then the next stage up for the shares would be a move towards that September resistance line at 0.75 plus, and obviously that was the October resistance area as well. At this stage, the only warning sign, I suppose, would be if we went back below 0.5 and the floor of the gap on the way down. That would be a slowing down of the bull argument, and obviously back below the gap today at 0.46 would delay matters by an extended period. But at the moment, above 0.55, up to 0.75 as a best case scenario for Rare Bold Resources. Next up, a stock which I like the look of all the way up until the rug was pulled at the beginning of this month. But in fact, you can see that on Sensine Health, we've actually just bounced back to the floor of the rising trend channel from August at £1. The intraday low at £1 yesterday, and nice close there right on the 50-day moving average. While we're above that at £1.18, we've got the chance of a move back up to the top of the channel at £1.60, hopefully by the end of next month. Stock where the allies are fighting against the Axis powers still is Supply Me Capital. A bit of a victory for the allies now, where we've got a break of this resistance line there from August, which I think everyone on Twitter has already worked out and seen. So I'm not telling you anything new there, but at least while we're above the 50-day moving average at 0.42, looking for extended upside, given that we've had 4 months of consolidation. Best case scenario target here, which I'm sure will cheer some people up, is up to 1.1 pence, which would be the top of that broadening triangle from August, and hopefully that would be seen as soon as the end of next month. But as is often the case, watch out for support, and the 50-day line there, probably the best support there possible at the moment on Supply Me. A stock that I missed the first time around because I thought it was too illiquid, but worth having a look at it now. Tasty retreated a bit from the peak at the end of November. For the channel here around 2.5 pence, and while we're above that, looking for the top of the October trend channel at 4.5 pence, hopefully by the end of January. Union Jack Oil obviously was the big player today on the fundamental basis. It's interesting that the shares were already rising for a couple of weeks at least ahead of today's news. At least while we're above the 200-day line at 0.17, looking for the top of the October rising trend channel at 0.26 for Union Jack. And on to the last scheduled stock here, XL Media. Here we've got a rising trend channel from October, top of the channel there at 60 pence, and the upside valid really while we hold above the 50-day moving average at 30 pence. We broke that line of resistance from November, so we should be on our way. Just remember the stock, which is interesting at the moment, Loop Up. Here we've got a situation where we had the low there at 72 pence, just narrowly broken that low on subsequent days. So the low there at 74 pence in November, and we've gone down to 72. I want to see an end of day close back above or back 74 pence plus in order to give us a proper recovery trigger. But it does seem that there is some bullish divergence there in the RSI window, with the lower low not being matched by a lower RSI trace. So early bird traders may be interested in that situation. If you're a momentum trader, you'd be waiting for a break of 85, which was neckline resistance so far in December. That's it from me today. More updates tomorrow.
Thank you for listening. Remember to visit our website for more news and other podcasts at www.share-talk.com.